Hey truth seekers, welcome back to our channel. And as now we have performed this, right now, we ask you to do one factor for us, take us significantly as we expose a few of what actually goes on to the not always super wonderful world of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Audience, welcome back to our channel. Get back to rumor with an all-new hot plate of palace drama. Get ready, because the latest breaking news on Meghan and Harry on their explosive tour of Nigeria is piping hot. Pick up a glass of iced water before delving too deep into this revelation, for it is sure to astonish you. Anyways, enough with lids right now. Before we step into this typhoon, may I please request you to smash that subscribe and the bell icon. You will not want to miss seeing what this compelling content has in store for you. Now, are you ready? Great news, because according to multiple reports we've finally been shown what was hiding behind the carefully crafted public image of the Sussexes, all the way down to the disarray and confrontation. Police in Asheville are looking for a man they said approached a 14-year-old boy and offered him a ride to school. Video released of their trip to Nigeria, which is being described as possible unseen footage of the beginning of the catastrophic breakdown between the Duke and Duchess of Delusion. That is right, you read it correctly. If any fraction of the rumors around the leaked security camera clip are to be believed, we may get to see Harry and Meghan's drama of self-involvement spiral to a messy conclusion in live time. It is a matter of time before the noxious alliance crumbles, much like the final few hours of Pompeii. Friends of the palace claim the cameras captured explosive rows, palpable frustration and a lack of communication between the couple. Insiders suggest the allegedly relationship-improving getaway has only dragged skeletons of dissent that public relations, clearly, cannot knit back within. Harry and Meghan, who were once all aligned in the same image, are now divided over what to do and how to apply for the requirements. Fueling the discord, meanwhile, are whispers that members of their entourage have grumbled about erratic behavior and constant bickering throughout the tour. With personal battles and a tireless media gaze, it seems like the Cinderella story they sold to the public is coming undone. With more details coming to light, the fate of the Sussexes looks unclear. Just how will they survive this storm, or is this the beginning of the end for their rocky relationship? Only time will tell whether this is a success, but nothing is for sure. The world will watch each move with intense intrigue. Now, Duchess Despair, Angela Levin, who revealed the explosive chats Meghan and Harry had behind closed doors when they visited Nigeria Apostolides weeks ago, shared the insight of candid recordings. The showdown was so fiery and raw, even seasoned royal watchers couldn't help but do a double take. After watching the leaked video, Levin sounded shocked to recall, "I felt that Harry was about to blow up in anger and resentment. He was so full of hate and malice that he was literally off the charts." On top of the usual sense of miserable frustration that seemed to be Daniel's usual companion these days, this was taking it to an unfamiliar pitch. But that a Sussex devotee as loyal as Levin was gobsmacked by the fury of the Harry manblast isn't merely a red flag, it's a trigger alert of epic proportions. Our topic woman has primarily constructed her professional career around defusing their emotional bombs and excusing their behavior across the board. The photo of the woman apparently in fear of what Harry could do next is frankly disturbing for any number of reasons. Whether it was over Meghan's perceived lack of respect or a response to the snatching of a tail or years of a sense of grievance, Harry's message was explosive and deeply disturbing. The leaked video only adds another twist to the complex and oftentimes polarizing tale of the Sussexes, which has been played out across global media and carefully considered by the world as it unfolds. He is the once champion prince, along with his American wife, who mesmerized the country with their fairy tale love story and their transatlantic squaring of family values, only to find themselves sucked into an endless whirlpool of roiling infighting. The recent incident raised critical questions about the durability of their public image and private relationship. What future implications might each of them face after their fallouts led to such dangerous territory, professionally but more importantly in their lives? Faced with great pressure and one's every move being observed, that Harry and Meghan undoubtedly face, public figures almost always suffer behind closed doors. The need to keep up appearances that are so elaborate they nearly swallow you whole does, as this footage suggests, occasionally erupt behind closed doors. In addition, the occurrence calls for a probable rethink of their place in the larger framework of the royals and continued media endeavors. With each new revelation, the line separating their public and private lives becomes increasingly faint and serves as a reminder of the cost of fame, as well as the relentless pursuit of public acceptance. At its core, this explosive spat is nothing more than a harsh inducement for humans like the Sussexes to realize, as they do daily, that they are not exempt from those messy and complex feelings. How they manage this latest upheaval is certain to shape the next chapter in their already rocky ride. It heralded the end of the thin veneer of friendliness they've been hiding behind so poorly in the preceding time. It required some raw emotion the normally controlled sit-ins rarely allow to pour out in their carefully orchestrated public appearances. That raw, unvarnished outburst begs the question: if this level of vitriol can only now be glimpsed in leaked security cam footage, how brutal were Harry's conversations over time at Meghan closed doors? The strain that exists between them is palpable enough that even his harshest critics would struggle to explain it away. The Duchess, however, showed no trace of fear, her husband on the edge of a seething hostility. Meghan sounded more like she was baiting Harry to say even more, rather than backing down, as Levin described. Fully embracing the mean girl that we see only in small doses, she did everything she could to amp up the tension with some sharp words and planned hostility. It was an image of a marriage about to explode in violence, and it was as clear as a tableau on a high school dance floor. The war of words reached the boiling point and threatened one last time to push the two spouses past their limit. Said Levin grimly, "It appears to be the straw that broke the camel's back on both parts." We all saw only the destruction of even a lie of good-natured human interaction. The remaining atmosphere thickened with staler than stagnant well water into one of only mild resentment brewing to an unquenchably scalding loath. The glow of that modern fairy tale began to fade, and their relationship looked more like tragedy. The curtain fell and, shocked and horrified, the world saw the ugly truth beneath their charade, just how broken they truly were. The reaction to this public revelation is expected to be damaging, with die-hard fans as well as critics likely to take a fresh look at the couple. In addition, in showing this brief insight into their inner turmoil, it brings up an essential question of what comes with famous coupledom. The incredible amount of attention to people, the media that breathe down your neck and the pressure to conform, which is rare, and on each partnership have a significant influence. Although Harry and Meghan's struggles are extraordinary, they are likely to resonate with many who have faced corresponding challenges, however on a more modestly public stage. Ultimately, this life-altering reveal may be just another stark reminder of the complicated and often concealed layers beneath even the most glamorous facades. It underscores the importance of empathy and understanding when you judge the lives of others with incomplete information. With things settling, there is still a possibility that Harry and Meghan can heal individually and as a couple, out of public perception. Double yikes, actually. Rather an inauspicious emotional environment for the unhappy couple joined in unsteady marriage only by their combined resolve to sustain the crumbling personality cult of no fixed borders, don't you think? On many levels it paints a troubling picture of two fragile narcissists, savagely eating the hand that feeds them, seemingly unable to keep the base instincts in check that promise to blow their world apart. Oh come on, let's cut through the unending history and trajectory of honesty and impartiality here, as horrible and tragic as it is that Meghan and Harry are clearly on the brink of self-immolation. Are any of us actually surprised that it has come to this? And OMG you guys, aren't these two just on a collision course with the most gruesome slow-motion celebrity marriage disaster of our lifetimes, and aren't they heading into each other at top speed only through some sideways twist of kismet? They keep living to haunt us with a little bit more. At some level of us hating the other, distrusting the other, no doubt, feeling anger toward the other, this fundamental human empathy that is quite fragile, if it held, for deep mutual loathing do be a necessary and, well the word comes to mind, antagonism, a perfect sound if you say antagonism. All you need is a war, and the time is there at such a moment that, you could just let it all hang out. Since a day's inception, it was already an overwrought relationship that had been yoked to the irreconcilable needs and perspectives heaped upon it from the outset. That being that Meghan is a tendency of having deep insecurities that turns her into a malignant narcissist and attention whore by drug to get all of into new personalities on one side of the equation. She is shape-shifting into whatever role she out to play and cannot really be her true self and be satisfied the way people are meant to. Her never-ending quest for validation and transformation has given rise to an unsustainable marriage dynamic in which she has, it initially appears, exhausted herself of who she deems to be, or is told, and is instead always seeking new identity to embrace. Harry, his existence dominated by the legacy of his mother and the burdens of the royal family on the other side. His struggles with his role and with his identity have long been in the public eye, and his marriage to Meghan was seen by many as a bold shift in a new direction for him. This new movement is not devoid of its challenges, however. The strain of trying to establish his own identity as a royal outsider under intense public gaze is bound to have weighed heavily on him. When these two hot-headed characters meet, sparks are bound to fly. Both at cross means of what's and what to expect, and thus a battlefield of desire to start with. Harry craves some of that normalcy and stability here, but Meghan is chasing fame and the approval of others. The result of which is a toxic mix of emotions and actions that have only served to exacerbate the original problems with their marriage. Add to that the external pressures and criticisms that only work to intensify the existing internal struggles. The combined media scrutiny, public backlash, and expectations, along with a great deal of their own pressure, make for some seriously high stress levels. This was a no-win situation for either of us, especially as it was a breeding ground for resentment and dissatisfaction instead of a healthy, loving relationship. His plight is a chilling cautionary tale of the potential dangers of placing an unbalanced burden on a relationship. The fairy tale narrative that wrapped the saga of their partnership was a construction. The truth is way more complex and capitalist than that, fraught with the same struggles and tribulations that many couples face, albeit elastomed by their special set of situations. Last word, the revelation that Meghan and Harry's marriage could implode might be something of a bombshell, but it isn't in any way a surprise. The indicators that should alert the discerning one have been clear for a long time. Built on such unstable ground and put under so much pressure, from the start their union was on the verge of buckling under the force of its own gravity. The real question now isn't if their marriage will last, but when, inevitably, it falls apart, what will the fallout be then? A broken man, Harry is covered in the deep wounds of a childhood of neglect and isolation. His life is a perpetual search for love and security, prepared to destroy any bridges it must or forego sanity if just to cradle remnants of kindness. Yet, you continue to chase for social validation, media fame, a hunger that never ends. In a romance that should never have been, two catalysts of chaos are fused together in an explosive love on the verge of tearing itself apart. It is the ticking time bomb of codependency born out of unresolved psychological traumas and their similar experiences, that is now destined to unravel in an unforgiving glare of global scrutiny. The negative energy and media focus cause their relationship to deteriorate further. They are instead under a relentless, glaring spotlight that emphasizes their shortcomings and magnifies their uncertainties. The ongoing public shaming by ex-allies and celebrities unwrapping the phoniness inside their tales simply foments the enmity that is already as old as time. Those they had once consulted are the very people that now back up, turning them over the gambit even further from any form of the support network. It becomes habitual, to the point of exhaustion. They in turn strive to one-up the other in their controversies, cynically upping the ante with ever more grotesque, self-righteous acts of drama-oriented farce, all for the sake of relevance. Every new show has to be bigger than the last, except the next has to be bigger still, of course, leaving them ensnared in an eternal game of self-satisfied self-sabotage. The toll public life takes on the mental health of these individuals is more and more palpable as they navigate the treacherous waters of public life. The burden of their unhealed past injuries and uninvited remarks from everyone takes a toll on their mental health, and they wear down emotionally and mentally. The mechanisms a person is using to cope are only making them more triggered, which digs them deeper into their wounds, creating a cruel cycle of suffering and dysfunction. That boundary of reality and performance dissolves in this sad tale of two battered souls. The personae they wear for the world are only masks to hide the immense pain and fragility underneath. The possibility once residing in their relationship that was unity transforms into a battlefield of different needs and unmet conflicts. The question that still haunts us: how do they break free of this vicious cycle before they self-destruct under the weight of their own tribulations? We can only hope that time will ultimately serve as a way to decipher the answer to this number one mystery, but what is certain is that the mountain remains steep ahead, and the road to recovery and an inkling of deployment towards inner self-discovery is as long as it is arduous. Add it all up and now, you are up to your eyeballs in a highly acidic, toxic waste dump of a relationship, where no amount cacophony material goods, jazzy trinkets and flavorless life coaches can contain the toxic root. All relationships have their explosive moments, where old resentments build into an emotional mushroom cloud that decimates whatever was left. The real ask is if they can withstand the sting. As Angela Levin, staring long and hard at the sad faces of Meghan and Harry, permitted a brief unguarded, one might think she went away reassured that they had burnt all their bridges. The scenes between them are filled with simmering hostility and unvoiced grievances, painting a grim portrait of a power couple that has soured. They hope desperately that the end is near and that at least when they are slain the matter will be concluded and they can spaldar their doom across the floor. Their past battles are almost palpable in each of their exchanges, rendering reconciliation more of a distant dream than a possible truth. What do you think about the Meghan and Harry situation? Will they survive their own battles into their civic destiny, or is there still some sliver of promise for them to repair their conflicted relationship? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments and tell me where you stand on the issue. Your perspective may provide a different angle to this ongoing drama. For more gripping narratives and leaks, tune on to our YouTube channel telling exclusive, unidentified stories and hidden truths of the royal family. We bring you the latest news and this clickbait-defying undercover access. Be sure to like, share, and hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date with everything from the world of the royal family. Thank you for watching. Be sure to join us a little later on for all of the latest royal family news. Goodbye for now.